So I was talking to a friend today, and he's gotten really into the book Letting Go. You may have heard of it. It's a book by David R. Hawkins, and my friend, he runs a spiritual book club, and they're meeting every single week or every second week to talk about this book. And he asked me, what do I think of this book? And as somebody that had practiced letting go for years, had really enjoyed reading that book, I found that it was quite life changing, really, and not just letting go, but the Sedona method, which is an extension of letting go. You can think about it as a more practical, more pragmatic way to apply the technique of letting go. It's another letting go method. And I was chatting to him, and I was talking about one thing which I think letting go really sucks at. And I think this is the biggest pitfall that you can fall into as a practitioner when you're trying to let go. And I wish they told me this, which is that you don't want to always let go. It's going to surprise you, but you have to know what to let go of. So most of the time something comes up, we can let go of it, right? Very beneficial. But what about something like anger? For me, for years, anger would come up. I would be frustrated. I would let go of the anger. I would let go of the anger without looking at what the anger was teaching me, why the anger was coming up, right? An emotion is coming up for a reason. It's not coming up randomly. An emotion comes up because the body is trying to tell you something. It's like saying, yo, Dylan, there's something here, there's something may be wrong or something happening. Now, with some emotions, there's nothing wrong and we feel that anyway, and I'm going to talk about that later. But with something like anger's coming up, it's trying to tell me something, and what do? I say, I know what to do. David R. Hawkins method, Sedona method. Let go. Zen. Back to peace. And cognitively, what have I done here? I haven't looked at what the thing's trying to teach me, which is actually, maybe in that situation, I needed to express a boundary. I need to put my foot down and say, this is what I think, this is what I feel. I needed to do this or that. Practical, pragmatic, real actions you can take in this world. So I think letting go, this is a blind side of it, or not necessarily a fault of the method, but more maybe a fault of the teachings or how people can interpret it. And I wish this was stressed more during reading the book. Because when you think about it, yes, you can let go of the things which is creating the inner resistance, which will then allow you to express the boundary. But now we're working with more of like a cognitive kind of capacity. And I think when something comes up, you get really trained to just be like, let go, let go, let go. So I think this is where you need to integrate the idea of cognitive executive function, where you actually okay, I'm actually going to spend a moment looking at what this is telling me, maybe do some shadow work, and then realize, okay, this is coming from this, or this. And I'm going to choose to let go of it, or I'm going to choose to integrate it, to integrate the emotion, to understand what this emotion is teaching me before letting go of the things that need to be let go of. So if you look at shadow work, which talks about the things we are unconscious of, many emotions we may be unconscious of, why they are coming up, why they are occurring. We can categorize shadows in 3 different categories. The first one being introjections. This is something where something's coming, somebody told you something, from a young age maybe, or you've interpreted some meaning from some situation, and now you think that, you suck. Or now you think that people won't like you because something happened, when you're 5 and somebody bumped into you or something, you interpreted some meaning from childhood or some event. It doesn't have to be about, self-esteem. It can be about any other thing, right? It's basically the shadow where we've taken something from somebody else and put it on us. Now we're carrying it. Those things are things we want to let go of. These are called introjections. About 60-70% of what you experience is probably an introjection. For most people, a lot of what they deal with, introjections. And this is where the technique of letting go is so effective. And once again, I think this is where you have to understand what letting go is, why you want to use it, where you want to apply it. So for an introjection, we want to let go of it. But for something like a projection, this is where you're projecting out some quality into somebody else. That's where we want to integrate whatever's coming up for us. We don't want to let go of it. Because if we let go of it, often we're disowning some part of us, or further fracturing a split. This leads me into the third kind of shadow, which is called a split ego state. This is where part of you wants to do something, wants to go in one direction, part of you wants to go in another direction, right? You're feeling conflicted, inner conflict. Coming from a letting go standpoint, if you just say, I'm going to apply this technique mindlessly onto split ego states, something comes up, you just let go, let go, let go. Your internal self is still fighting, right? It's still fighting. You haven't rectified the split. You haven't created wholeness. The ego is still fractured. And so this is where letting go can be problematic. You could be causing more harm than good. Now, don't get worried if you're watching this video. I think being aware helps. And by being more aware of these things, as I'm telling you in this video, now you have kind of a mental map or a mental understanding. And I would definitely suggest checking out some of the things I've talked about, like shadow work, like understanding these 3 different types of shadows, and when we want to use the technique of letting go, when we don't want to use the technique of letting go. Maybe we want to do parts work. Maybe we want to do integration work, right? And so just remember, although a lot of things that come up for us are introjections, things we want to let go of, things that aren't our baggage, it's not always the case. And so moving into more of a integrated and holistic view of, I'm not just going to mindlessly apply the technique in every situation, is going to do absolute wonders for you. Absolute wonders for you in terms of healing, in terms of integration, even in terms of letting go. So, yeah, that's what I think. If you have any thoughts, let me know down below. And maybe David R. Hawkins did talk about this. Maybe I completely missed it, right? I'm not sure. So if I did, let me know. I'm curious. But when I read the book and when I did a lot of Sedona Method, when I was in the Sedona Method community, I did feel like that was something where the techniques in the methods did not really line up with what I'm talking about now. And actually I had to learn this stuff to really understand what I was repressing, and to understand that this technique, a technique is a technique. It's not a panacea. It's not going to solve all your problems. So I think it comes back to the understanding that anything conceptual, including letting go, is a concept. It's something that is made for a purpose and is communicated in a specific way. You can understand why it's being communicated in the way it's being communicated, what it is, when to use it, maybe when to not use it. I think it's going to definitely help you.